welcome to LUV, Lincoln University Viewpoints, a show designed to express the different opinions and views of Lincoln University students on the latest and hottest topics. My name is Lynn Shirley. Let's meet our panelists.
I'm Taja McCullough, graduating senior class of 2012.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shantae Hughes. I am also a senior computer science major.
Brian Taylor, graduating senior, computer science, minor in psych.
Today we will talk about the shortage of psychiatrists for veterans in Virginia, a shooting at an Oklahoma college, employers putting a stop to the usage of Netflix and YouTube in the workplace, and an SG Roe probate at Rhodes College. In Montana, VA, veterans wait on average 5 weeks to begin counseling at mental facilities. Fort Harrison Mental Facility is now 9 months vacant because of the lack of psychiatrists. Virginia data shows that this shortage has happened around the time when veterans with post-traumatic stress disorders is increasing. More than 230,000 men and women who serve our country have suffered traumatic brain injuries ranging from mild to severe since 2000. Shantae, do you think the veterans should be getting better treatment?
Excuse me, yes, they should be getting better treatment. I mean, these are our veterans. They go to Iraq and Afghanistan, they see horrible things, and they come back with post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, the fact that they're having, a shortage of psychologists, that's not an excuse. They need to do something about that. Obviously, Virginia needs to get down to the root of the problem and figure out what they're going to do to better service our veterans, because this is a very serious disease.
Definitely. I feel as though just the psychology part in itself, you're talking about young men and women who are going over and their nerves are on Jump Street. They're like, yeah, what's up, what's good? And you're trying to reintroduce them into society, where the psychiatrists are there to more so level that off, level that reintroduction back into society. I feel as though the lack of that will not only increase violence, but it's a lot. It's so much. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
I think it's I think more so we have to look at ourselves and the American people.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, the government hasn't always taken their part in making sure our veterans have received the best treatment upon their return from war. So I think we, as American citizens, have to look at that and say, well, the government isn't taking upon the responsibility to make sure these veterans are accommodated and their adjustment back into the country is an easy one, is one that they can transition to. I think we have to say that, okay, well, maybe we can be that person to talk to, maybe a family member that they have, or maybe they need to maybe lessen the expectations or the restrictions of who can be a psychotherapist or who can perform some type of mediating sessions where you act as a outlet of therapy for these people. Maybe there needs to be I don't know, some type of, maybe we need to utilize community centers and other places
the
like
YMCA.
that. To accommodate these veterans. And I think that it certainly is a job that the government needs to do a better job at. But I think that the American people have to take an initiative as well.
Definitely.
But do you think that do you think that it's because of lack of education that there aren't as many is not as many people going into that field as there was back in the day? So now there's nobody to do the job that we need them to do. So it's like you want to put it on the government, but then at the same time, if there's nobody for the job, I think there should be a set amount of people that say, okay, I am a war vet psychiatrist, or like this is my specific field, like this is what I specialize in, so I shouldn't be working with family, home and friends, and family and marriage. I should be with this specific group. But if there is not, I think we have to look into the statistics, because if there aren't a number of people going into the field, you can't I guess in my opinion, you can't put blame on the government or any specific group of people if there's nobody going into that field and there's nobody to take on these jobs to do these things for our vets.
Definitely, just look at TV. You have, how many of your friends want to be rappers and dancers and models and things of that nature? We all have our friends that want to go into entertainment. I feel as though the young people that's coming up now, they're geared towards entertainment, and just being a psychiatrist is more technical, it's more psychological, it's more relational. That goes with critique. I think the media not so much to blame, but the media is maybe one of the reasons why young men and women are not pursuing psychology or psychiatry as a means to remedy the situation.
I mean, one could also, you know, take the position and say, well, you know what, these men and women, they volunteered to you know, give their services for the United States, so they should know the ramifications, and they should know the penalties of going to war and the outcome of and the results that they could later face. So you know, a person can look at it and say, well, you know what, the United States should, you know, accommodate and try to help these veterans, but they knew the risk. Yeah. So, you know, why can't they deal with it? Why don't their families learn to deal with it?
And that's a shame that people think like that. That's really a shame that people think like that.
I mean, because I think it's more so not how the person is going to be affected, but how are these people going to affect society?
Yeah, because you got the prisons.
Brought back into this natural lifestyle, they're so consumed with this war on the go. I have to always be looking behind me, make sure, you know. So it's like once they make that transition back, it's like, it's just like when you go to jail. When you if you're in jail for a certain amount of years, you have to go through a process before they release you into society. But my thing is, if they have halfway houses for
prisoners,
inmates, why can't they have halfway houses for war vets?
That's definitely.
Well, I mean, we got to be honest at the same time. We got to be honest. Half of these guys, a lot of these people, you know, went into war with problems as well. You know, they went into in the service for the country, and they didn't necessarily, they weren't necessarily people who you know, were without problems. You know, these aren't you know, the folktale heroes that we're thinking of, just going inside into the war and returning home to their families with Junior on one arm and Susan on the other.
You always see those pictures.
You know, but these are people just like us with problems, and you know, hey, whether they went to war or not, maybe these people needed psychiatric help regardless. So the fact that they even think about going over to serve this country in war at this time, that raises a red flag.
That might be a person's only out. Just to, you know, piggyback off of the mediums that they can take. There's spiritual mediums that can be taken, spiritual avenues that can be taken to help remedy the situation. So I think all paradigms should be looked at.
Okay. Well, hopefully something can be done for veterans to get the treatment that they need. We'll be right back after this short break.
Danse, balance, suis la cadence. On lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex? Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
We don't win unless we work together.
It's how we play our best.
It's how we survive on the field.
Now that same teamwork can save 13 million people
affected by the famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Go to this site
and forward the facts to everyone you know.
The more people who know,
the more money we can raise.
And the more money we raise,
the more people we can help.
Because saving lives doesn't take a lot.
It just takes a lot of us.
Welcome back, guys. 43-year-old On Go is suspected of fatally shooting 7 people and wounding 3 on Monday, April 2nd at Oil Coast University. Go was angry with school officials after being expelled from the university for behavior problems. USA Today says he has also been teased for having poor English. Taji, do you think that this problem could have been prevented?
Unfortunately, no. This is a problem. This is a reoccurring problem. This is nothing new. Unfortunately, we've all seen this familiar picture at a period in time. And when you go back to the Virginia Tech and
it happened twice.
Yeah, to so many situations, and it's kind of like, unless you enforce a law that says, you know, that you have 100% surveillance and metal detectors, it's really no way that you can really stop a person from carrying arms onto a campus. And this was an older gentleman. This wasn't, you know, I think that's one thing that's most alarming and kind of, you know, that rattles people about this. This is not a young teenage boy or teenage girl that's, you know, out of, you know, still in the stage of her teen years.
Like 43 years old, right?
And this is a 43-year-old man.
Should be able to deal with it.
You know, and who you think would be able to deal with these issues, but he wasn't able to. And I think that's, and I think, you know, being that it could have been prevented, I'm not sure because, you know, as we mentioned so many times in history that we've seen this type of situation reoccur.
Yeah, then the question arises, you know, what can we do to remedy the situation? I feel as though there's a lack of patience that's going on, and, you know, you have the problem, here's the solution, bam. We're not going to really get into the details. And I feel like the details is what, you know, what can help to remedy a situation. You know, if you have a problem or something going on with education, and you know this is the specific way that you may interpret information or learn, you know that you go down that avenue, you go speak to that professor, and you all work it out. You know, I feel like that's something that needs to be more practiced in our education system. There isn't patience with the students anymore. Right. So. And
back to what they said, like one of the reasons may have been, you know, him being teased because of his poor English. Oikos University, they cater to Korean Americans. It's a Christian community college almost. And the fact that, you know, he's being teased for poor English, you don't know how long he may have been here. It may have been like some type of culture clash. They could have been there for, you know, ever since they were one and have, you know, still the accent but perfect English. He could be there for only maybe about like 2 years and still have issues. So the fact that, you know, he being teased for, you know, 43-year-old man being teased because he's Korean and he's being teased by other Koreans because of his English, that kind of baffles me a little bit.
It's kind of like you know, with here at Lincoln, we've kind of had a kind of thing where in other universities around the country, where we've kind of put emphasis on bully management and dealing with students who are being teased and things like that. I don't know if a university like Oikos, who deals with foreign students from other countries, put as much emphasis on that. I think that could have been a reason why this happened.
Definitely.
Cincinnati-based Procter & Gamble is the latest mega employer to confirm that it has shut down access to Pandora and Netflix for its 129,000 employees. Brian, do you think that's fair?
I feel as though companies now, they need to be aware of the advances technology is making. Right. And we're in an age where everything is digital, everything is handheld, everything is right there when we want it. Not so much as the company should accommodate their employees, but some kind of some breaking point needs to be made with that. I think they took a reasonable stance, but at the same time I feel like it could have been handled differently, because it's like a janitor that listens to his music. I'm just cleaning bathrooms. I'm not bothering nobody. That's what I'm doing. I'm just grooving and washing, you know. And granted that the bandwidth, you know, may take away from other things that the employers are trying to do. There's a way to handle that better. I don't think they took the right.
But I think from a certain aspect, you have to look at it like the employers are footing the bill for the internet access.
Definitely.
So, and in most cases, me listening to Pandora has nothing to do with my field. I mean, I understand, you know, okay, you're at work, you're doing your work, you're trying to stay awake, you're trying to, you know, keep the momentum going for that 9 to 5. But it's like, to what extent are you doing more work than play, or what's going on here? So maybe they could have taken the standpoint of like maybe putting a gap, like you only have a couple hours a week or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it's a money issue, because it did say that it would cost maybe 1.5 million or 15 million, one of those numbers a year, because I guess their bandwidth would have to be larger. But I think people are still going to use the internet either way, because they just shut down Netflix and Pandora. I mean, it's Pandora. I like to listen to music. I feel like I get more productive that way. But they still allow them access to YouTube and Facebook. I don't understand that at all. That's not going to, you're still going to be on YouTube.
Okay. Well, on that note, we have to take another short break, but we'll be right back with entertainment. Stay tuned.
moments to get your things stolen. So if you are going to class, downstairs, or even just to the bathroom, lock your door.
Bottoms up, but it's going down. My house party, party. Welcome to my house party, party. Welcome to my house party, party.
The night of your life can turn into your worst nightmare within seconds. Don't drink and drive.
Welcome back, guys. WorldStar is famous for posting funny and sometimes controversial videos, but one of its latest videos is of the Omicron Xi chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Their probate, which turned many heads. Throughout the video, the young ladies seem very unprepared and unorganized, and the same day the video was posted, it gained many hits, and there were many posts about the probate on social websites, and it sparked a lot of conversations from members of different organizations, sororities and fraternities. What did you guys think about the video?
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was a disgrace.
That was terrible. I'm just looking at like, are you serious? Like, I would have been embarrassed if I was a Greek, let alone like one of the sorority sisters. I would have been like, no, this is just, because you know how they bring like the past ones to come on campus and so see, but just.
I've seen probates. I've seen the brothers and the sisters do their thing. They, I'm used to precision. I'm used to being on point. Doing your thing. Being in unison. Right. They were, totally not so much unorganized, but they didn't have each other's feeling of all right when when to do this, when to do that, and when they were doing while they were performing, some of them were early, some of them were late. So you hear incorporate. Oh, all right, and that I feel like that in itself, it's a reflection on the people that brought them in. Right. What were you doing the whole time that they weren't on point?
That's my question. Okay, you have the profites that are here that are, where's the dean of the line? Like you know they weren't prepared to come out here, and you could tell like even the morale of the crowd, like even like just being here and seeing different probates from all right, you're going to have slip ups, you're going to have people that definitely. Whatever, it's a lot of information that they have to take in, it's a lot of information that they have to give out or whatever, but at the same time the morale of the crowd was just like, okay,
because like how it's
do like, that like what, like they were, it was like
no love, no
rhythm.
Only one of them was leading. I'm like, where's the rest of them at? Where's the rest of them telling them bring in their profiles? There was only one Jerome that was just leading them, leading the 3 profiles. I was like, where's the rest of them?
Maybe they were so hungry from the process that they finally like, we don't have enough time to be in sync. We just so hungry. Someone bring us a sandwich. Maybe if they would have had a sandwich, like, they would have been all in sync and flowed.
Maybe there was only 4 people in the line, so how much pledge? I mean, how much did they have to do? Really?
I don't know, but they need more support. I think overall as people, we need more support, and that's a reflection of that.
Right. Well, LU, this is our last show for the season. We have all enjoyed giving you our viewpoints for the semester. Thank you all for tuning in to our last episode of Love. And remember, love isn't just a 4-letter word, it's our viewpoint.
Yes, it is.